Welcome to Musician versus Musician, a podcast / gig where every week we talk about a music-related topic that one of us researches and then the other one listens to whilst they speak it.
Well, that was a lot more, it sounded coherent, but it was real wrong.
What? Wait, was that wrong? One of us talks while the other one listens.
Oh, that's not inaccurate description, but that's not, because I always think you're trying to adhere to that original intro that you wrote.
Yeah, I am.
But you're just nowhere near at this point.
Okay, right, hold on. Do you want me to have a second attempt, or is it just every week we do a different one? Is it just a thing that we just don't get right anymore, ever?
Excuse me, we?
Maybe we'll try. You don't try. Do you want to try? Go on, try right now. This is a try. Right.
Welcome to Musician versus Musician, where we every week we talk about a podcast.
You already fucked it up.
No,
because it's a podcast / gig.
Yeah, and I was going to say that.
No, you have to say welcome to Musician versus Musician, a podcast / gig where every week
we talk about a different band, genre, music-related thing.
Yeah.
I'm Matt.
I'm Leia.
We're from Wild Abyss, and our opinions don't represent the views of the band.
Oh, they do now. No, they do now.
Do they?
Yeah, we know they do.
We're committed to that. Okay, I'm okay with that.
I represent. Didn't we already?
Did we allocate
members of the band?
I
think I speak for Lou and you speak for Andy. Is that right?
What about Nick?
I don't think we had Nick when we had that rule. So. We got to divvy it up now. Do you want to speak for 50% of Nick and I'll have the other 50%?
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope he listens to this. I don't think he does.
I'll have to make him listen to this one.
Well, yes. I'll send it to him. Well, Leia, this week, to get us on topic, I have actually written a question.
Shit!
Yeah. Okay, so I think it's the first time I've ever done that.
It's not the first time, but it's been a while.
Yeah, definitely.
Can't be more than the third time.
So, here's the question that you will be asked, and then you will answer the question, and then we'll know the band from that.
I see. It's one of these. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's one of these. Okay. What band's name was taken from Pirates of the Caribbean?
The only pirate-related band I know is Ailstorm.
No, it's not that one. You get 3 guesses.
We could be here sometime.
Yep, but you're going to do it anyway.
Also, I don't feel like that's any more than you normally give me. It's just you've given me the same amount of information and phrased it as a question.
Yeah, exactly.
So why am I definitely going to get it?
Two more. Pirates of the Caribbean. Think of
Is it called Pirates?
No. Okay, that's 2. One more.
A quote? I don't know.
Okay, she doesn't know.
I don't know. No.
Specifically, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. Does that help?
No.
It's Bring Me the Horizon.
I never would have got
Never
that.
Ever?
I did not know that was after a Pirates of the Caribbean quote, though.
It's from the end of the movie. Jack Sparrow looks into the distance and he says, "Bring me that horizon."
To be honest with you, I thought that the band was around a long time before the Pirates of the Caribbean films were.
Nope.
Well, I know that now.
No, the first one came out when I was a kid. What are you talking about?
No, I mean, but I have no idea which order they go in. So Black Pearl could be the one that came out like...
Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. She's getting number 5.
Yeah, it could be, because I know there was one that came out, last year or something?
Yeah, the 5th one.
That could have been that one, or it could have been the first one.
Of the Caribbean, I don't remember the subtitle.
I don't know. It was okay, though.
No, it wasn't.
It was okay.
No, it wasn't. Don't listen to it. Don't see that movie.
I do what I want. I've already seen it.
We're talking about Bring Me the Horizon. Would you like to know some information about them?
Yeah, go on.
Matt Nichols... Yep, that's me. And Oliver Sykes had a common interest in American metalcore.
Oh, Ollie Sykes, yeah, I know him.
So yeah, okay.
That's all I got so far.
Yep. Well, we're not a sentence in. Such as Norma Jean and Sky Came Falling, and used to attend local hardcore punk shows.
Okay.
They later met Lee Malia, who spoke with them about thrash metal and melodic death metal bands like Metallica and At the Gates.
I don't think Metallica are a melodic death metal band.
No.
That's an incorrect...
Yeah, I kind of left it in here because I thought it was funny that anyone would consider Metallica melodic death metal.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Yeah. I've seen it. Why did I speak on mic about something you just showed me in text? Who knows? Thanks, Matt, for editing that out.
I was going to say, now you can guess what that was.
Malia had also been part of that was Lee Malia, had also been part of a Metallica tribute band before meeting the pair.
What were they called?
They were called...
Are you going to make it up?
I didn't look it up. So, I left that in because that's how Leia met us. We saw her in a Metallica tribute band.
That's not true.
That's true in the fictionalized account of this.
Although what is true is in the first time we spoke, because you emailed me and you asked what I'd done. I
emailed her crying and I said, please
we need a
drum for
drummer.
us. I wanted to be a girl.
And you asked me what experience I had, and I started talking about stuff, and I said that most recently I'd supported a Metallica cover band. And you were like, you supported Metallica! Like, no, a cover band.
No, I don't remember that. Man, I must have came out
I will
real
dig up
dumb.
that email. Yeah, you did look real dumb.
What a big old dummy.
I was like, is he being sarcastic? Because, it's
not
funny.
Yeah. That cemented our relationship.
Yeah.
Matt, are you joking? Because you're not funny.
A sentence said too often.
Bring Me the Horizon officially formed in March 2004. Do you remember any of the names I just told you of the people in the band?
Ollie Sykes.
You did?
But I knew him before. Wait, something Malley?
Lee Malia.
The
other one? My first name?
Matt Knowles?
Nichols. Very close. Very good.
That's better than I expected. You know what I'm like.
No,
for
that
names.
was pretty good. So they formed in March 2004. The members were aged 15 to 17.
Are there only 3 of them?
At the time.
Oh, okay.
But another member is about to join.
Oh, okay.
Curtis Ward, who joined on drums, and bassist Matt Keane, who completed the lineup. Bring Me the Horizon created a demo album titled Bedroom Sessions, and they followed this by releasing their first EP, This Is What the Edge of Your Seat Was Made For. Which
that's a dumb name.
I think it's a really good name. That's a great name, considering our name needs more cowbell.
That's dumb too, but I'm also I'm not opposed to dumb names. It's just I'll fully accept when something is or isn't a dumb name.
It is a dumb name, but they got signed to label 30 Days of Night.
No, that's a dumb name. I don't like that.
They were the label's first signing. Just pretty funny.
That is pretty funny.
There was no bar for them to meet.
Yeah. They were like, please, just be okay.
Yep. So the UK label Visible Noise noticed the band after the release of that EP and signed them for a 4-album deal, in addition to re-releasing the EP for some reason. The re-release...
Was it remastered, or was it just...
I don't know.
As
far as I could see, it was bad
released, but with their logo on it.
Yeah. The re-release gained the band significant attention, eventually peaking at number 41 on the UK album charts, so pretty good. They were awarded Best British Newcomer at the 2006 Kerrang Awards. In their first tour... You want to just hit that computer for me? There you go. The band's first tour was supporting the Red Chord across the UK. As with other tours, they were able to get this slot by tricking venue promoters. Keane and Oliver's mother, Carol Sykes, was the de facto manager of the band. Oh, sorry, both of their mothers.
Oh, wait, there's a brother?
What do you mean? Everyone's got a mother.
No, brother. Are they brothers or something?
No, I've just written that weirdly.
Oh, okay.
So only one of the mothers got named. That's what happens sometimes when I'm typing quickly. The de facto... And I don't, check it.
Well, yeah.
So she was their manager, and she emailed supporters and pretended they were opening on all the dates, and when they were actually supposed to only play at the local show. So they just toured around with them because they'd done it.
I think if I was the actual band, I'd be a little bit pissed about that.
I think it was really ballsy.
It's really funny.
If they were good.
To be fair.
We will.
It depends, because you'd have to meet them. Because if you met them and they were a bit cunty, I'd be like, nah, I hate you now. But if they were quite funny, I'd be like, yeah, okay, that's funny. I'm down.
So yeah, Ollie Sykes created an email account in another case. Johnny Truant was his name. And he used to contact another promoter requesting Bring Me the Horizon on their tour. So he just used to email bands and say, hey, I've heard that these guys are really good. Maybe you should get them.
Charles at him.
We're totally not going to steal this idea. This is a brilliant idea. Ollie Sykes is a fucking hero.
So why is it funny when he did it, but when the guy from Threaten did it last week, you were like, that's...
Because they actually toured properly and were sneaky and cool and played sold-out shows.
So they did it successfully.
Yeah,
okay.
It would be cool if Threaten had lied and then sold out shows.
Supported a band, yeah, rather than just being like, yeah, we're the headliners and we have a following.
Yeah, as long as they paid the promoters, though, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
On this tour, on their many tours, alcohol consumption fueled their live performances. The band would get so drunk they vomited on stage and damaged their equipment.
I think I'd be really upset if I did that.
Yeah, you could say that
I've
again.
nearly been sick on stage a number of times, actually.
With us or with others?
Yeah, with
You have been ill on stage with us a few times.
Yeah, it's not normally for fun reason. It's normally either because I'm very ill or overexertion. Like that Metal Fest gig where I did like practice back to back, practice back to back.
Yeah, that was horrible for you.
Gig to gig. Honestly, I was sat on there and I was like, don't stand up.
That was like the beginning of our joint, like 4 months of illness together.
Yeah, we were really ill after.
The band released their debut album, Count Your Blessings, in October 2006. They rented a house in the country to write songs, but easily became distracted.
Too real.
They then recorded the album in inner city Birmingham, a process which is infamous for their excessive and dangerous drinking.
They do a lot of drinking so far.
I mean, they're 18-year-olds who've just been handed a contract. I would have done the same.
Yeah, fair.
During this period, drummer Nichols summarised it saying, "We're out every night just being regular 18-year-olds. Makes sense.
Yeah, fair.
But guess what? The album was released and it's a huge pile of shit and everyone hates it. The critics hated it. It's a piece of crap. Somehow they were actually able... See, this bugs me, but I guess it's the symptom of having a good label. Because they still could tour with people. They toured with Bury the Dead and Killswitch Engage.
That's cool. I know them.
Like... decent bands.
I think it's, well, probably the label might have dropped him had they not have signed a 4-album contract, you said, wasn't it? But obviously if the label have to keep supporting them if they're gonna, They
want to make that money.
Yeah.
Bring the Horizon's presence on tour was poorly received by fans of Killswitch Engage.
Oh no.
And they regularly threw bottles at the band.
I can kind of see that, to be
honest. We're going to listen to a song, I don't want to have to censor this. Tell Slater Not to Wash His Dick is the name of the song.
I don't think you should censor that. That's not.
Okay,
we say a lot worse than that.
It's true. I think it's weird when it's song titles.
Okay.
But we're going to listen to Tell Slater Not to Wash His Dick off the album Count Your Blessings by the band Bring Me the Horizon. Whew, boy. What did you think? We listened to Tell Slater Not to Wash His Dick and we listened to their cover of Eyeless. By Slipknot.
It's a lot more clear what they're actually doing and how bad it is in Eyeless. Like, even if you don't like Slipknot, musically they're a hard band to play, and just everyone was dreadful.
Yeah, in the Bring Me the Horizon cover,
they obviously
are all bad. It is not a good sound. As we said, it's mostly just kind of a horrible mess. Like, everyone, I think, can play in that band.
Yeah, it's not that anyone's inept. It's just that, like, it's just they've bunged everything in together and gone, yep, done.
Well, let's move on from that terrible history. Bring Me the Horizon recorded their second studio album, Suicide Season, in Sweden, with producer Fredrik Nordstrom. He was unimpressed with their first album and was initially absent from the recording sessions unless he really needed to be there.
Who was doing it then?
They just did it themselves.
Well, okay.
He later heard the new sound they're experimenting with and was like, "Yeah, okay, I'll do this."
I'll bite.
Yeah. We're not going to listen to anything off this album. I don't think it's a huge departure from the first one. It's different enough that I was like, that's better, but I still didn't care about the sound.
Yeah.
The band promoted Suicide Season by going on their first headline tour and even did Warped Tour, which I think was cancelled last year.
To be honest, you don't hear about that anymore. I mean,
I used to hear a lot about it.
Well, the scene sort of emo days are sort of in passing now.
It's true.
Bollocks.
Nice. In May 2008, Bring Me the Horizon was the main supporting band on I Killed the Prom Queen's Farewell Australian tour.
I don't like these long names.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's a lot of words.
During the Taste of Chaos tour in March of that year, Kurt Ward left the band, the guitarist. Apparently, his stage presence was shit.
Oh. So when they say he left the band...
Apparently he was abusive to audiences.
Well, to be fair, if they bottled him first... Fair enough.
Another reason that he left was that he had tinnitus in one ear and he was already deaf in one ear, so...
you wouldn't want to play with that, would you?
It's just getting fucked up.
Like, I'm going to be deaf in a year.
Apparently, Lee Mallier noted that his departure improved, like, everyone's mood. And they were, like, a lot happier when he left, and they got a replacement guitarist for a while. Within a week of the tour finishing, Ollie Sykes began talking to Jonah Weinhofen, the guitarist of Bleeding Through.
I think I've heard of them, but I'm not really sure.
I don't know them at all. He was asked to join them, and that's pretty much it for the second album stuff. I did not care for it very much. Let's not listen to it. Instead, let's talk about the third album, which is where the band gets good,
Ooh.
in my opinion.
Okay.
The band's third album, and first with their new rhythm guitarist, Jona Weinhofen, titled There Is a Hell, Believe Me I've Seen It, There Is a Heaven, Let's Keep It a Secret. A lot of words.
That is... Why so many words? Use less words. That's my advice so far.
They're emo.
Yeah, if you're emo, it's just necessary to use way more words than...
Yeah, like,
than
if I
you
had
would
my
actually
way,
need.
we'd title our albums really long things too. But, you know.
What would These More Cowbell be called?
Because we had to take off so many songs at the last minute due to band changes, I don't have one for that.
It would be...
Because there's not a thematic link between them.
Like, no one would be called, like, No One But Me and the rest of the band and everything else in the world.
I really wanted a short name for that song with just a woman's name, but I've saved that for a later date.
Yeah, the problem with that is you kind of do just have to pick a random name.
It's weird to do it about someone you know.
Yeah, because they'll be like, are you okay?
Yeah, exactly. And then Loyalty Withdrawal was always called Loyalty Withdrawal.
Yeah, it was always called that, wasn't it?
I mean, the band name was slightly longer because it was Into the Wild Abyss.
Was it ever that?
That was what I initially pitched it as, and I got shouted down by the previous iteration of the band before.
Because I think that's better. I think that makes more sense.
I think it's better too, for fuck's sake.
But
now
it's
we
a
have
bit
shit
late
name.
now.
God damn it.
You picked the name? I wasn't in the band at this point.
I literally didn't. Different members of the band picked the name. I picked Into the Wild Abyss. I mean, the quote in Paradise Lost is Into This Wild Abyss, so it would always annoy me slightly. But Bring Me the Horizon isn't the actual quote from Pirates of the Caribbean, so it's Bring Me That Horizon.
I mean, it's never going to be exact. You have to make things make sense.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyway, Matt Nichols described the lyrical themes of There Is a Hell as being repercussions of everything we were singing about on our last CD, Suicide Season, calling the music and lyrics a lot moodier and darker. Yeah, it's true.
Sure.
5 singles were released, one of which we'll listen to.
Ooh.
They joined Bullet for My Valentine as their main
I hate
support
Bullet
band.
for My Valentine.
Yes, but a huge touring band regardless.
Oh yeah, I cannot deny that they are a big and successful band.
Yeah.
To be fair.
They did a European tour, you know, they did a lot of...
The European tour is what I'm into.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
They actually had a drummer problem. Nichols broke his arm while playing football.
That's pretty funny.
So instead of cancelling the tour, the Architects drummer, Dan Sale, filled in, but it meant that Bring Me the Horizon setlist was halved in length because they were touring with the Architects as well.
Yeah, and they don't want to, like, break another drummer.
Exactly. So after an intense touring schedule, they finally completed their third album promotion at the end of 2011. They returned to the UK for an extended break and eventually started working on their next album. I actually haven't put a song from the third album to listen to. We can if you want to, or we can just listen to the one from the fourth album, which is their really big album.
Oh yeah, we'll do the big album.
Okay, cool. So, much like their previous 2 albums, they wrote their fourth album in seclusion and isolation to stay focused. Sorry.
But it doesn't work.
This time,
as previously mentioned, it doesn't work.
They
But they
went to
keep
the Lake
doing it
District
anyway.
this time, which is probably...
That's really... Why are there so many different places called the Lake District?
There's one place called the Lake District. What are you talking about?
Like, I've heard that a few times. You see it a lot in America, like Peak District and stuff.
No, Peak District is a place, and the Lake District is a place.
Yeah, but I've heard it more than once, definitely.
Well, people might have said, well, I'm going to the Lake District, and then in a new sentence, I'm going to the Lake District again.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure in America there's different versions of it.
Well, you'll have to fact check that, but you're holding onto your mic, so you have no hands.
I do have a hand.
Alright, fine, then you better fact check
I'm
it.
Googling it!
But I'm telling you, you're a big old dummy, and that's not true.
Sorry, did you support Metallica?
Yes, I did support Metallica.
I'm never going to drop that.
It's only just come up for some reason. I didn't even remember that it happened.
Yeah, it was real dumb.
On July 30th, the band announced they had left their label and signed with RCA, who'd released their fourth album in 2013. The band played only 3 shows in all of 2012, whilst they were working on that, which is not a lot of shows. They're doing a wild abyss. They're keeping it low key. In late October, they announced that their fourth album would be called Sempiternal. Do you know what Sempiternal means?
No, but I remember I had a friend in school that went through an emo phase and really liked Bring Me the Horizon, and she told me I could remember it because it sounds like Sandpit Turtle. And I only ever hear it as Sandpit Turtle now.
Well, it just means eternal, so...
Well, that's a really dumb name then.
Yeah. I really like it, but I like synonyms for words. I like synonyms for words. Matt Nathan, put that on my gravestone. Bring Me the Horizon released their first single, Shadow Moses. What do you think about that name? You got any comments?
Shadow Moses.
Shadow Moses, yep.
That's a dumb name. Do you get a real pleasure out of
dumb names?
Making me admit that it's a dumb name.
Yeah. Due to popular demand, Epitaph released the music video for the song a week earlier than planned. That's crazy.
Excuse me.
Okay.
The Peak District is an upland area in England.
Yeah.
It's mostly in northern Derbyshire, but also includes parts of Cheshire, Greater Manchester, Staffordshire, West Yorkshire, and South Yorkshire.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Yeah, obviously. I knew that. What are you talking about?
There's, like it's not one location.
What do you mean it's not? Everything's not one location.
My house is one location.
No, there are spots within your house.
Yeah, but it's not like...
Well, the Peak District encompasses several parts of several other locations, but it itself is one location.
Isn't it split up?
If you're saying that... No, it's not like staggered.
Oh, okay.
It's not like we drove to the leftmost part of the Peak District, then took a break when we were going back to the right.
You can't do that.
This person.
Like, I'll accept that, yeah, okay, it's like one unit, but it's not like all in the same place. It's like overlapping.
He's so dumb.
Excuse me.
It's such a dummy. And I'm put you in a good mood now because... so we're going to listen to a song and she's going to give it a more honest opinion than usual.
Oh, okay.
So they actually changed their lineup for this
Why?
album because they wanted a keyboardist.
Oh.
They put in a keyboardist and Jona Weinhofen, the rhythm guitarist, left the band.
Because they wanted a keyboardist.
They've never confirmed it, but it definitely is that reason, and they sound like way better.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to listen to Can You Feel My Heart by Bring Me the Horizon. I wanted to say it like that.
Can you fix the broken? Can you feel the...
Go on. What did you think of Can You Feel My Heart?
I actually, instrumentally, I was expecting it to be a lot more interesting than it was. I thought it was.
See, they're quite electro-inspired.
Yeah, yeah, they get really, because it's a real hard turn from where we started.
I mean, we did skip 2 albums, but yes, it is.
But like.
And well, hold on. I'm just gonna quickly on mic just play a little bit of Alligator Blood, I guess.
What am I looking for?
Just difference from what we just listened to. Difference between having a keyboardist and having 2 guitarists.
Which album is this?
This is the previous one.
Like, because this sounds a lot more together.
This is from There Is a Hell, Believe Me, I've Seen It.
Like,
There you go.
in terms of instrumentals, I prefer that one a lot.
I thought you would.
But then I'm quite into all of the guitars and things, so, that
they
makes
actually
sense.
become steadily more melodic as they go along in their career. So, anything to say about Can You Feel My Heart before we move on?
I don't like the vocals, but that's not a surprise to anyone.
Why don't you like the vocals? Don't
like,
save it till the end?
I think it's just too emo for me. Like, it's too, I'm so sad.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, I know you like that.
'Cause I am so sad.
Like, I am sad, yeah, but I need someone to pick me up, not to make it worse.
Yep. Alright, you know what? We're gonna keep plugging along because we're almost at the end here. So in late June, the band decided to promote pictures of an umbrella symbol being used as a tattoo and on stickers and posters across
is that
England.
the one you see them on hoodies and stuff? I've seen that.
Yeah.
I saw that a few times before I knew what it was.
Yep, that's for their next album, which is called That's the Spirit. This is where the band starts to lose me a little bit. I like about half the album.
Okay.
The rest of it is quite boring.
Yeah.
Because I know you didn't really like Can You Feel My Heart, but I love it, and I don't think it's boring at any point. It's got interesting sampling stuff.
Yeah,
got a cool
I do quite like
keyboard.
samples.
It's a really cool change.
It's just not enough for me, I don't think.
That's fair. This one loses me quite a lot, and without making you listen to the whole album, there's not really much I can do to convey it.
Yeah, okay.
So you're just gonna have to take my word for it, I'm afraid. That maybe I'll put in a little clip of a couple of the songs here.
Every scar will build my friend.
But for you, we're just going to keep moving on because something really cool about this band is that they were able to perform a live concert with an orchestra at the
That is
Royal
cool.
at the Royal
Yeah.
Albert Hall in London.
That is impressive.
So I thought actually what would be cool is I haven't listened to this yet. If we listen to one of their songs that they did with the orchestra,
Yeah, okay.
they like so they sent a lot of money to Teenage Cancer Trust
Okay.
for these performances. They did a whole tour with them. It just sounds really cool. So let's have a listen to "Go to Hell for Heaven's Sake," performed at the Royal Albert Hall.
They go to hell for heaven's sake
do you want to talk about
for
this?
cancer kids.
Do you want to talk about this now or later?
I just needed to get that in there because I thought that was important.
I think it's better to tell them up front.
Okay.
What do you think?
I really do like having orchestral stuff with metal stuff.
Yeah.
I like that in general, so I thought that was cool.
Yeah, it's much cooler.
I stand by. I don't like his voice. I think it's whiny.
You don't like his voice? She
We're
actually
so
said
gonna
she
ha-
hates his voice.
Yeah, I really do. But
Yeah.
I know we're gonna get some fucking because the Bring Me the Horizon sort of fangirl types almost always are stupidly into the singer and no one else. So I know they're gonna be like, you can't say that.
He's
about
very
singer."
handsome and cool. I like Ollie Sykes a lot. This isn't a Jared Leto thing, guys. I'm on your side.
I'm just like.
Leia's just a hater. She doesn't get it. She doesn't get us.
I don't
No,
get you. I fully appreciate that I don't get you.
We are just like emotional people, and she just can't respect that. So
It's not that I don't respect that. It's that I quite seriously don't understand.
right,
I'm
she's just
properly.
a fucking narc, guys.
I'm
She
not a
doesn't-
narc. I'm autistic.
She
There's a
doesn't-
difference.
She doesn't get me. Like, it's really, really annoying.
You know,
I have to do this podcast with her, and she just does not get my style.
you know that it really does surprise me sometimes that you don't talk in that voice all the time. Like I feel like
That's
that.
my real voice, and I hide it behind this one.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised.
All right, let's keep going. We've almost hitting the end here. We're almost up to present day, August 2018. Cryptic
That's
post.
very recent.
Yep, cryptic posters appeared in major cities throughout the world with the message, "Do you want to start a cult with me?"
No.
They're still so emo, I love it. The posters were attributed by major media outlets to the band only by their use of the hexagram logo previously used by the band. During this time, the band themselves have not acknowledged their involvement with the campaign publicly. So we don't actually know if it is them, but it is them.
Okay.
On the 21st
We'll
of
take that at
August,
face value then, I suppose.
the band released the lead single Mantra. The following day, the band announced their new album Ammo, set for release on the 11th of January 2019, along with some new dates. And they released their second single, Wonderful Life. So I'm going to give you a choice. You can either listen to Mantra or you can listen to Wonderful Life. And then we can go to the fun facts.
Wonderful Life.
Yeah, okay. Let's listen to Wonderful Life by Bring the Horizon.
I read a fun facts about the brain and how it starts to deteriorate when.
What do you think?
It had lyrics on the video, which is fatal because, like,
Leia learned how to read recently. So.
yeah, recently I've started, and it takes me a while, and it's
Yeah.
a little bit fast for me sometimes.
It's true. I have to pause it a lot.
But I can tell that it's pretty, like, all he does is bitch, and then has the nerve to call someone else Debbie Downer. You are Debbie Downer.
I mean,
Oh god.
I actually think that so far the sound isn't really what I liked listening to about the band. Bear in mind, I only got into them this week for this report.
Fair enough.
I like their heavier sound. They're real pop metal now.
Yeah, that's quite in at the moment though. However, I will say I love the video. I really love stupidly mundane videos with, like, especially if it had been heavier, like their older
It's
stuff.
true.
I think that
it
would have
would've
been really fun.
better if it was that Kiss guy at the start just going about his life. I think that would have been better.
Yeah, if they just followed him through, just doing
Yeah,
like you
just
go
doing his
shopping.
day
Yeah.
whilst the band's
I
got
love,
really heavy
love,
music.
love, love stuff like that.
It's more akin to their fifth album, which is fine. That's clearly the band. That's clearly the direction they want to take it.
Well, yeah, this is where they want to be. Clearly, this is working for them.
Yep, it's making a lot of
I'll
money.
fully accept that.
Good
I'm
for
not
them.
a fan, but they're clearly very successful.
See,
So lots of people do.
For me, this falls on too emo, pop, soft, and not enough metal. So, I'm not as interested.
Like the earlier stuff, whilst it was
I'll probably give it a listen.
Like the very, very early stuff, it was just messy.
Yeah, oh yeah, like the first album's just dreadful.
But yeah, probably the second to third album is where it's...
Second album's still pretty messy. Third album is the one I showed you, and then fourth album was with the keyboardist. And that's peak Bring Me the Horizon for me. Those two albums.
I'd probably be in probably the two earlier, but then the messy would annoy me, so I'll see. Maybe I'll have an investigate on my own time.
Yeah, fair enough. It'd be interesting to hear if you actually like their first album, which is a pile of crap.
Oh, I'm not gonna like the first one. It's too messy.
The second album isn't good either. Third album, that's where it is. Fourth album, my favourite. Sleepwalking's really good. Right, you want some fun facts?
Yeah.
Okay. Ollie Sykes has his own clothing line
I'm not surprised by that.
called Drop Dead.
Oh, is that his?
Yeah.
Ah.
I was going to make you guess, but
I never would have got it.
She's
So
bad at this.
yeah.
Oh no, this is the funniest one. I'm going to go for the
Save it.
build up. Yeah. Ollie Sykes told The Guardian that he doesn't think his family has been surprised by his choice of career. He said, "I have ADHD, and I were a nightmare as a kid."
I were a nightmare.
Yeah, nothing is. I were always hold on. I were always jumping around and screaming anyway. Now that was a bit more Welsh than I wanted it to be. Interesting.
Yeah, but a little bit.
So it didn't surprise them when I started listening to that kind of music. I used to scream along in my bedroom to CDs, and my mum were always at the top of the stairs going, "Will you shut up?" Which makes sense. Typical story. This is the best one. In 2013, Jordan Fish was hit by a birthday cake on stage.
Which one's that?
The bassist.
That's pretty funny.
Yep, that's great. And that's my report on Bring Me the Horizon, a band that I love. I actually did want to play a little game, but this took longer than I thought it would, so we'll skip it for now.
Yeah, I mean, all of the videos are still in. So.
Yeah.
We're
But...
going to talk about my one now.
Yeah, but first I want to talk about Bring Me the Horizon, because I love them.
Oh, you're not done?
You don't like the lyrics, but I love the lyrics.
You were literally, like...
That album I don't like.
Oh,
but
okay.
the rest of the albums, I really like... He's got some really fucking good lyrics. I really love how cheeky "Go to Hell for Heaven's Sake" is as a lyric.
To be fair, I will freely admit that I don't know anything really about lyrics.
A lot of time it's just like really well crafted rhymes and a lot of meaning in it. If only sorrow could build a staircase or tears could show the way. Great lines.
Yeah, lyrically I think my problem is I know what I like, I don't know what's good.
That's fair.
But then,
I can't drown my demons, they know how to swim. It's really, really clever stuff.
I think that's dumb.
I really like that. Really, really cheeky, funny stuff that he's put in here. You can drag me through hell if it meant I could hold your hand. You know, things that are great. That are just emo enough for me to really, really get behind them.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I really like Ollie Sykes as a lyricist. I think he's pretty terrific. I think I found my favourite one this morning, which I'll try and find now, which is and when you die, the only kingdom you'll see is 2 foot wide and 6 foot deep. That's a great lyric.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Because he's talking about a grave, man.
Okay.
He's the only king. When you die, the only kingdom you'll fucking see is your fucking tomb. You know, your grave. That's awesome.
I mean, it's true.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Ish.
Anyway, she does not vibe in it. No. Whatever.
I mean, to be fair, I can't really get on board with a lot of lyric-based stuff anyway, just because I really don't know enough to comment, you know?
She only learned how to read this week. I mean,
know.
I don't blame
Give
her.
me some time to catch up.
It's okay.
God,
all right. That's
I've
why
got
she's
like
the drama.
19 years worth of bloody reading to catch up on.
Yeah, she got to read Harry Potter next. Yeah.
I'm going to read the first book. I've already started it. It's taken me 4 days and I've read the first page.
Ooh, that's pretty good. That's better than last week.
I know.
There were no pages. All right. Go on, take us to the next report. What are we doing?
Okay, so this band is made up of originally, guitarist Dan Donegan, drummer Mike Wengren, and bassist Steve K-Mac. They were in a band called Brawl with vocalist Eric Awalt. I think you will know these eventually, but I don't think you're going to get it from my lead-in.
No clue.
Originally, apparently, it was called Crawl, but that was taken, so they changed it.
To Linkin Park.
Dun dun dun. That'd be a plot twist. Actually, it was probably around about the same kind of time.
Ooh, one day we'll do Linkin Park.
They did one demo with the singer Eric Awalt, and then he left.
Yes.
They advertised for another singer, and they ended up with David Draymond. Any hints?
Nope.
David Draymond basically put the idea forward, we need a different name. So we don't want to be called Brawl anymore, because that's dumb.
I like it.
So this name, I don't think right, there's very little evidence to back up this story, but I think it's fucking funny, so
Okay.
I've put it in here anyway. So they said that the name came from when the members were eating at an Indian restaurant once. The bassist got up to go to the bathroom, and the other members were worried because he was gone for a very long time, supposedly at least an hour. When he came back, he mentioned that the food had disturbed his bowels.
Oh, okay, I get it. This is the band Aerosmith.
This is the band Bowels.
Yep. Hey, funny story about the word bowel. So when we
Okay.
went on holiday to Australia once, my dad left instructions on how to what the rabbit liked being fed and stuff.
Okay.
And my dad, bless him,
I
is
didn't
not.
know you had a rabbit.
I did at the time. I don't anymore. It's dead.
Well, obviously you don't have one now.
Yeah, it's very dead. God bless Blizzard. Whatever we say to rabbits.
Did
So
you call it lizard?
Blizzard.
Oh, okay. I thought you called your rabbit lizard.
It was
I was
an
like, you okay?
It was an albino lop-eared rabbit.
I'll accept that.
Yeah, I don't remember who named it, but I'm going to say it was me.
Okay.
Him. So Dad writes down, Blizzard really liked his food in his, and what he thought he'd written was bowl, but what we all laughed at him for writing was that he'd written bowel. It's like, yeah, Dad, most people like it there too. Just eventually.
Yeah, just not immediately.
Yeah.
Like, let's not start with that.
Anyway, that was a nice detour. Go on. We're
Right.
talking about Disturbed, the band
Yeah,
Disturbed.
so they've there's very little to back this up. David Draymond apparently once said in the interview that he just liked it, which is a lot less funny. So I thought I'd leave in the story anyway, even though it's probably not true. So I'm just basically gonna get straight into this. You've had a little introduction to them recently because I suggested to have a listen to. Actually, I can't remember what song it was.
It was Down with the Sickness.
There we go. I didn't know this at the time, but they basically blew up out of nowhere. Like, they did a few EPs, they got signed to a record company in 2000, and then they debuted their album, The Sickness, which, as you can imagine, has that track on it. So one of their most famous tracks was on their debut album, which is
That's
pretty
cool.
impressive. Got pretty mixed reviews, but still peaked at number 29 in the charts. Their first album, like.
That's good.
Well, we can have a listen to Down with the Sickness if you want, or we can just tell other people to do it because you've probably listened to it a few times.
I can just put it in here.
Yeah, okay.
I put it in. There you go. It's done.
Yeah. It was remastered. They remastered the whole album in 2010. That's pretty cool. To be honest, it's just a tune of an album. Enjoyed it all. But Down with the Sickness really does set the precedent for like how all like the new metal real sound of it. And then they do like a real turn with the next one. So the next album is Believe. I hadn't even heard of this album. I really like Disturbed. Completely missed it at all. So this is their second album and the last album to feature their original bassist because they sacked him in 2003. According to Draymond, he was fired for being jealous and apparently was willing to sink the ship we were all sailing on out of spite.
That makes sense.
They were very vague.
I've met musicians like that. We both have.
Yeah, musicians really, but they were pretty vague about the whole thing. So I guess it was a little bit of a faff, and they had a major faff actually in the lead up to this album. So on account of their success of their first album, they were supposed to tour supporting Black Sabbath, but the Black Sabbath 2001 tour was cancelled, and obviously their support slot with it. So they planned to use the month before Ozfest that they were playing to prepare for their own tour to follow. Like they were going to headline to support their album, which is cool. They were at Ozfest, and Draymond got the news that his grandfather was very seriously ill. But it was uncomfortable for him mainly because they were really close as he was a kid, and he disowned him when he became a metal musician, and then got in touch with him as he was going to die. But by the time they were able to get in touch, he didn't have time to get to him, basically. And obviously, that was an uncomfortable experience, I'm sure, unpleasant. Additionally, he had a very real severe throat problem, something to do with having like a valve problem and getting acid on his vocal cords.
Oh yeah, that's pretty common.
Yeah. But apparently the surgery was so successful, it not only repaired it perfectly, he was able to broaden his range quite a lot after that. Have you heard of that before?
No. I've not heard of.
I don't know if it's true.
Yeah, I've not heard of magic before. I'd imagine
I've not heard of magic before.
not having like acid burning your vocal cords probably allows you to do a lot of things, like not sound terrible.
Well, yeah, that would be a real improvement. But then he's known for his voice, really.
Yeah.
He has got a good voice.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty eventful lead up to the album, for him anyway. He was very concerned once they had recorded that, well, whilst they blew up, they hadn't obviously had any long-term fans, and he was like, maybe the level of vulnerability here is a bit much, but their second album was released and debuted at #1 straight off the bat.
Yeah, weird.
Which is cool. So I thought we could have a listen to the main single on it, which is Prayer.
Okay. Which album is this off? Is this the one with Sound of Silence on it? Have we not got there yet?
We're not there yet.
Okay, cool.
It's okay. We don't have to complain about that yet.
Okay, cool, because I hate it. Preview. Alright, so we're listening to Prayer by Disturbed.
What did you think?
Yeah, it's fine. Don't really care.
Not feeling it, are you?
Don't care. Like, you said some nice things.
Yeah.
I agreed with them.
Yeah.
Just don't care. I don't care. Oh god. Okay, I'm stuck in a loop of
Yeah,
saying...
you're not really contributing much.
There's
here.
this joke in, what show is it? Where every time he goes to say something nice, he just keeps saying... Oh, it's in, Don't Trust to Be in Apartment 23. James Van Der Beek says, he goes to tell someone that, he says, I don't think you'll be a good mother. And then he tries to clarify it, but every time he does it, he just keeps saying that over and over again. And I feel like that's the same loop I'm stuck in.
You're
It's
just
like,
stuck.
I don't care.
Right.
Go on, keep
Should we
going.
move on then?
Yep.
Right. So the next album, we jumped to 2005 with 10,000 Fists. You might have heard the title track to this. We'll cover that in a bit.
Okay, so I haven't.
Okay.
But that's because I had only heard of Disturbed when they released the Sound of Silence.
Okay. Is that why you're not bothered?
So far.
We'll come around. So this album was supposed to be a fusion of the heaviness of their first album and the sort of more complex nature of their second album. They would absolutely, they don't agree that people, because people say it's a political album, and it's not a political album, but it's a political album for them. It's as political as they get.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of songs are very kind of fuck the government-y, not a lot, but like...
I support them more for that.
Particularly, they take some issue with George Bush, from what I gathered.
Yes. National hero George Bush.
Yeah, there's a track Defy that in the introduction to it, it has audio clips of Bush over the top of it, urging the nation towards war, apparently. Mm-hmm. And they then show in a different music video a very similar sort of vibe, and them being very Nazi-like figures, which are then overthrown by the people. They also have their little mascot. Did you know they got a mascot?
No, I don't know that. That makes them like them more.
Yeah, he's sort of on all of the album covers in a kind of Eddie from Iron Maiden style, but a lot more emo, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
He's just called The Guy, which I kind of don't like. I wish they'd given him like a really dumb name, but then I'm a real fan of having stupidly normal names on really weird things.
Freddie.
Yeah, we'll call him Freddie for the purposes of us.
There's a nice reference to Eddie.
Yeah. So this also, like every album they do has mixed reviews, basically. But this was quite an extreme one for mixed reviews. One very notable reviewer said that it was the best mainstream metal album released since Judas Priest's Angel of Retribution. However, it was also described in a very reputable one as unfocused rage. You'll find nothing more despicable this year. So, mixed.
Yeah, I like Rage. Rage is good.
Yeah, Rage is good.
Rage Against the Machine, everybody.
Yeah, so the title track, 10,000 Fists.
She ignored that joke.
I missed it. I wasn't listening.
That's okay. That makes sense.
I'm reading. I can't do both. We discovered this.
Mm-hmm.
So the title track, yeah, you might, well, even if you haven't heard it before, I don't want to listen to that anyway, because my favourite Disturbed song is on this album.
Okay.
You will have heard this one, because this one's on Guitar Hero 3.
Okay.
I want to listen to Stricken.
Oh, I have heard this, but I don't like it.
Why?
Yay! Get ready for this, everybody.
Why?
That was the song that we listened to. It was fine. I really like the instruments. The instruments are great. And I think I nailed down during this. I just don't like the vocals.
I can see it.
And I think I don't actually think there's anything wrong with them.
It's just you don't like it.
Yeah. And it's really frustrating when stuff like this happens. Because it's not really, like, it doesn't feel valid. I hate not having a reason for things. But I just, at my core, I just don't like it. I don't like looking at his piercings on his chin. They're too big.
They are huge.
They're far too big. But the instrument's amazing. And I don't think it's a bad piece of music. I just don't like it.
Okay. Well, we'll move on to the next one then. This is also a song, this album, the title track of this, also a song you might have heard. It's also one of the hugely famous ones as Indestructible.
Nope.
I think you probably will have heard it in the car with us before, but you probably won't remember it then.
Great.
Yeah, they toured in support of, well, their previous album, and then they had a little bit of a break, and this is the time when their drummer Mike Wengren got married.
Mm-hmm.
He proposed to his then girlfriend on stage at one of their shows. How
That's
confident
cool.
do you have to be?
That's nervous. That's nerve-wracking.
Can you imagine someone saying no when you propose to them on stage at one of your own shows?
I'm gonna do that to you, so you have to say no.
You're gonna do that to me, and I'm gonna be like, what?
You'll be like, no.
Like, we're not even together.
Yeah, I think that'd be really. Then you'd have to say no.
Well, yeah, because what would happen
that-
is I'd look at you really confused.
Imagine the press coverage.
What would happen, right, is that you'd say that, and then come like a karate running on stage and be like, excuse me.
I'd run away.
You'd be better off running away. Also, lead guitarist, he had a child as well, so we're all pretty busy at this point.
Yeah, we all got stuff going on, guys.
They're busy.
Stop bragging.
They're doing they're doing like adult things. So they're, I think, a lot older than a lot of bands when they kick off at this point. Although I'm not actually sure how old they are at this point. But they say thematically this album is supposed to be darker. But they basically have a thing of saying every time they have an album they go, yeah, this one's darker than the
I
next
think
one.
all metal bands do that. Nobody ever says, "Oh yeah, it's cheerier." This one's
Mostly
the
because
upbeat
people would be
one.
like, well, I'm not going to listen to that.
Yeah, exactly. You know. If like Slipknot said, "No, it's not as heavy."
Everyone would be like, oh, well, that's
It's
disappointing.
more of a pop album, to be honest.
They'd be like, are you okay?
Yeah.
But notably in this one, Drayman himself requested the instrumental style to be more textural and darker. So there we go. We'll see if you probably won't pick up on that because
Nope.
you're not very good at stuff like that.
Nope. Famously bad at it.
Impressively, this album was the third consecutive chart topper. It debuted at #1 as well, which we're getting into impressive territory
It's
here.
weird to me because I hadn't heard of them.
Yeah, I was also surprised to learn this, to be honest.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were this stupidly big, but apparently they're a lot bigger in America and stuff, apparently.
That's fair.
For this, one of the track on this album called Inside the Fire was also nominated for a Grammy in the Best Hard Rock Performance.
Well, that's good.
Which is pretty cool.
It's nice when metal gets recognised,
It
even
is.
in weird rock categories.
Yeah, it is a bit weird that, but there we are. So we're going to listen to Indestructible.
Indestructible.
Then I become indestructible.
Thoughts?
Ugh. I like all instruments. I do. I don't like the words or his vocals or how he sings. It's boring. He's so boring.
This is me, everything.
Bring me the horizon. Yeah, it's super boring. Whatever.
Well, it was described as an anthem for soldiers, and I fucking love the drums on that track. I think it's immense. The chorus, I really like it.
I always feel I relate way too hard to the BoJack episode where he rails against the troops and how people treat the troops.
Oh, to be fair, it's not literally. Not literally for soldiers. It's for like people to be like.
No,
yeah,
I
I'm a
get
soldier.
that, but I also am.
It's yeah. In that episode,
I'm not
going
going
to
to take a stance. Let's not take a stance because people might get pissed off later in time. But
yeah, that episode.
I like that episode. Let's
I
just leave
also
it at
very much like that episode.
Yeah, okay. Dodging around the issue there.
They had a pretty high concept music video for this as well, which was like a battle scenes that are sort of 300-esque. But to make the point that it's not literally for soldiers, they see a real variety of people in it. Like you get female soldiers, they're all going on. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, I knew you were gonna bitch about the sirens at the start because it does.
I didn't know. Oh no, I did go on. Yeah, that's fair. I did say it goes on for too long. It's like 40 seconds.
It is a long soundtrack.
20 seconds.
Like that, yeah. Just.
See, this is what bugs me about a lot. I think the kind of metal that I prefer, tighter songs, smaller, more emo. I do have like a type,
Yeah, you very much do.
with this stuff, and it bugs me. I think the Iron Maiden lyrical style, Disturbed kind of hit on some of those with this song anyway. Just don't like it.
Fair enough.
Doesn't fill me with any emotion, and as I've said a few times, I want music to make me feel something.
Yeah. It's just you've got a very specific. I mean, to be fair, so does everyone. But
Yeah, but I'm just more open about it.
fair enough. We will move on to the next album then, which is actually very unnotable. We're up to 2010 now. Honestly, like, looking through the album, because I, particularly a couple of years ago, I was hugely into Disturbed, and flicking through the track list, I didn't recognize any of them from the name, and I was like, wow, did I just miss this whole album? No, I listened to it, and I was like, oh, I've heard all of these before, I just didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
So, to be honest, it was described by the singer to be still identifiably disturbed, but it shows us maturing. This is one of the strongest bodies of work we put together, but it definitely doesn't go in familiar areas.
Again, it would be weird if they didn't make that claim.
Yeah.
Oh, we're just, paddling water with this one would be a weird thing to say with
Yeah.
album release.
But yeah, to be honest, again, mixed reviews, but however, I thought this was cool. So Vinnie Paul, obviously late drummer of Pantera, just described it as, that thing kicks ass. So, fair enough.
Yeah.
I would take that.
Oh yeah, I'd be okay with Vinnie Paul complimenting me as well.
Well, yeah.
What a
do you
strange
want to
thing
have a
to
listen to a
dislike.
song of that one, or do you want to skip it?
How long you got left in your report? Because we've been going for a while.
2 albums.
Let's skip it this one. Let's
Okay.
go to the next one.
So now we're up to where? Oh yeah, this is when they go on hiatus. Okay, so in a rare move, they go on a hiatus not because they're winding each other up, but basically just because everyone's a bit bored. They're all stressed. They've released 5 albums, 4 of which debuted at number 1.
Oh, it's so hard being successful.
Yeah, and they were like, well, the singer was like, I just want a break, and then the rest of the band were basically like, to be honest, we'd like to pursue some other routes and try some other things.
That's fair. You've been doing it for a while.
Exactly, they've been doing it for what, 15 years by now? And yeah, they take a break and they're on hiatus for the best part of 5 years. And to be honest, apparently they all come back into this, like, we're completely down, which is bizarre to me. Like, they kick back in straight away. This album, this is what's, like, I don't care what you think, this is incredibly impressive. So they come back after...
That summarises this podcast, everyone. I don't care what you think.
Yeah, I really don't care what you think. So their last album was 2010. They come back in 2015. And off the bat, this album is their 6th studio album and the 5th consecutive album to debut at number 1. If you don't realise how good that is, they are the 3rd band in history to achieve that.
Oh, it's just so depressing to me that this is the band that happens with. It's so depressing. I don't get it, and I wish I could.
The other ones are Metallica and the Dave Matthews Band.
God, I miss you, Jared Leto. I miss 30 Seconds to Mars.
Oh, to be fair, I hate 30 Seconds to Mars.
I
Are we
love-
going to get that kid commented again? Like, I
love
listened
you.
to the whole thing just to be like that.
No,
I hate 30
I
Seconds to
love
Mars.
you guys, the 30 Seconds to Mars. Jared Leto's the most handsome man. Anyway.
But yeah, so they're one of supposedly only 3 bands in history to achieve that, certainly in any kind of alternative music. There's a little bit of a change in style, and to be honest, it's mostly prominent vocally, because this is when we get into him being less just speaking and sort of shotgunning lyrics to be a little bit more sing-songy. And this, yeah, okay, they're pretty sure this is the album that they do Sound of Silence on. We're not going to listen to Sound of Silence. Obviously, we're not going to listen to Sound of Silence. I've heard it 402 million times, and I didn't particularly care for it because I didn't like the song to start with.
I like the song to start with, and it's a bad cover of the song. It's awful. The vocals don't work with it. I hate it.
And to be fair, you just don't like the vocals.
No,
in
but I
general.
don't think the band does a good cover of it. It doesn't...
They actually do some very good covers.
Not of that.
No, but I thought we could, instead of that, we could listen to a cover of Shout 2000 they did.
Okay. I don't know what that song originally is, though, so it might be a bad choice.
The one, literally Shout, Shout, Let It All Out.
No idea.
You would probably know it if you... I'm
No
going to show
clue.
you that first. I think you will know it.
Alright, well...
And I thought we could listen to the Vengeful one, but we'll just have a little skim through and we'll see where we are.
Okay. Alright, that was the Vengeful one, because I hadn't heard the pop song.
I
that you-
know! I'm really surprised you hadn't heard that.
No, never heard of Shout by Let It All Go.
No, it was Tears for Fears.
Whatever, it's all the same.
Fair
Sorry.
enough.
That didn't make sense. What did you think of the Vengeful one?
Well, I like it. This is why I've presented it. Actually, this on that album, I think that was just one of my favourite ones off that album.
Mm-hmm.
Because I stopped picking the singles because I was like, I don't care, I do what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was good. Well, especially because like Shout 2000 was off like their first album. It was just a bit of a like detraction from Sound of Silence because I didn't want to listen to that. But there we are. They also, I didn't even really know, but they released a new album this year. Literally last month. I didn't even know.
Did it hit number 1?
No, it hit number 4, so they broke their streak. But then they probably would have
Thank
been the only band
goodness.
in history to do that.
Thank goodness.
It was stated to be a tribute to...
I'm being really mean. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Disturbed. I don't think badly of you guys.
Yeah, they did it as a tribute to most recent lost metal musicians, particularly Chester Bennington and Billy Paul, because apparently they were quite good friends with them. They toured with them a lot.
Great musicians.
Yeah, it is a shame. To be honest, the comment on this was...
I can imagine them working really well with Linkin Park.
Yeah. I mean, it's the right kind of thing.
It is, yeah.
Like,
Interestingly, also don't really like Linkin Park.
I'm not surprised by that. To be fair, I'm not a huge fan, but you know.
Well, we'll do that lukewarm episode at some point.
Yeah, we'll do small doses of Linkin Park, I think. To be honest, it was commented that the success of The Sound of Silence might have made them a little bit ballad happy on this album, so there's a lot of softer tracks on this.
Okay.
Not exactly ballads, but in the metal world ballads.
Mm-hmm.
Also means that the singer is singing more, but you know.
Anything that's not played 8/8 is a ballad to metal.
Well,
so.
yeah, true. I haven't actually, because this came out so recently, I haven't even heard the album yet, so I thought we'd have a listen.
Well, then let's have a goddamn mother effing listen.
Yeah!
I'm trying to swear less. I don't know if it comes across.
Not generally, no.
Okay.
Which we can listen to the title track, and we can have a little look at the track No One, which is supposed to be good.
Alright, let's listen. Wait, which ones are we listening to? To tell everyone?
Evolution, and it's just called No One.
Evolution and No One. Here. What do you think of the track? Ended up being called No More.
I had the wrong track name.
Somehow.
And there isn't a title one, so I don't know where this.
She invented some stuff. She was hide.
The review that I read now, I immediately do not take seriously because there was literally a review that I pulled it off that was like, listen to this song. It's not even the right name.
Great.
So I'm gonna find that reviewer and be like, excuse me.
Yeah, we should email them.
We need to have a word friend.
Pick that up.
Yeah.
I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to focus on the stuff that I like, which is the guitars and drums.
The guitars is so good.
Yep. I like the guitars and drums. I'm gonna stop being negative. I like the guitars and drums.
Yeah, and to be honest, after that, there's only really one more thing to cover, which you brought up earlier, as the singer's obviously got these huge, stupid chin piercings.
Yeah, they're dumb.
And he took them out because he was like, I'm 45, like, I look at tits.
Yeah.
And all of the metal music websites, like Metal Injection and shit like that, just fucking lost it. And they were like, he's taken out, what is he gonna do? And he basically, like, it was so bad that he had to come out and be like, I'm 45. Why do you care?
You know
he literally
what?
said, I don't know why anyone cares about this.
Yeah, it is weird. Don't
But
care.
so many people cared about it, and he was like, literally, why? I've just taken piercings out. I'm an adult.
Yeah.
Like,
he probably looks better.
yeah, he's like, I'm fucking married and shit. Like,
it's strange.
yeah, it is strange, and that's what he said. He was like, this is weird. Like, he only still really had them in for his image at this point, and then
yeah,
them out.
I respect him way more.
Yeah.
What a great guy, David Duchovny. That's his name.
That's his name?
Yep.
You sure?
Nobody's gonna question me on that.
Nope,
David
that's his
Duchovny
name.
is not the name of another actor.
I have no idea who that is.
He's an actor from The X-Files.
Oh, okay. Who is he in X-Files?
The man. I haven't seen The X-Files. He's the main man.
Well, there's Mulder and Scully, isn't there?
He's Mulder, because Scully's the lady.
The chick, yeah.
Yeah, the chick.
The
God,
chick.
listen to her. Sometimes
That's
I forget
it's
what
a
I'm
reference to be fair, that's a reference to something. I've heard someone say that before.
like. Sure it is. Alright,
Specifically X-Files.
you good? You got anything more?
Well, no, I'd hoped you'd be a little bit more, at least open-minded.
I was open-minded.
Were you?
Yes!
Were you?
I like Down with the Sickness a lot. Let's remember that I went into this really liking Down with the Sickness.
Yeah, that might have been an issue.
Yeah. Down with the Sickness, I think, is a great song.
That is a tune.
Yeah.
I do love the meme versions of that.
So let's not go around saying Matt's this and Matt's that. Matt's great.
Matt's this and Matt's that, and I can do what I want.
Matt's great.
Is he?
Everybody loves him, probably. Nah, what a lie. Right, well, what a great week. We covered 2 bands, an amazing band who are perfect in every way, and Disturbed.
I literally feel the other way, though.
No, I mean, I was joking.
Yeah.
So, Bring Me the Horizon didn't hit number 1 5 albums in a row.
Yeah, and there's a good reason for that.
There isn't. They're so good. I love you, Oliver Sykes. Write better music.
Well, there is that.
Right, well, I think that's everything for this week,
I
right?
want to say, I think I've got... prior to this, I had Bring Me the Horizon confused with someone else, with like someone whose singer had died or something. Like some real emo band. They must be a very similar emo band singer, like Mitch something.
Nope,
Singer
no
had
clue.
died.
You know
I'll
how
Google
bad I
it.
am with bands.
Yeah, I'll Google it and then, or wait until someone messages me pissed off because I didn't know.
Well, that's it for this week, probably.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Did you have you try and make me like something?
Yeah, but we've been going for a long time.
Yeah,
Usually
we
I
have been
save
going
them
for a long
for the shorter episodes.
Okay.
Disturbed. Fine. Bring Me the Horizon. Great. What's your summary?
Disturbed, sick, Bring Me the Horizon.
You can be negative. It's okay.
Bad to middling.
There you go. All right. That's what she said.
Yeah.
Okay. I will see you guys later. We are at Wild Abyss on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, MySpace. We have an EP out on Spotify, on Amazon Music. I hate Amazon Music. Don't use it.
You're getting better at that, to be fair.
What else? Is there another? YouTube. We have a lyric video and a regular video for No One But We and a vlog. Go watch those.
Yeah.
Subscribe, please. It helps. Leave a review on iTunes. That also helps.
Get in touch. Argue with us. We think that's fun.
Yeah, you'll get a decent human response from Leia and I'll laugh at you. So that's fine. No, I will talk properly, I promise.
Yeah, if anything, you're more inclined to answer and I'm just more inclined to laugh.
Yeah, it's true. I do really like talking to people when they get in touch. So, we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.